We will not know why it's making a decision and how, what data it is processing and how it is making a decision. In the nutshell, we will not know how it is working. It is completely dark for us. All we know is it is good at performing this task. Now, that is not
Okay.
general artificial intelligence. That is a task oriented artificial intelligence. Imagine we have enough processing power, and we already do have enough processing power, and I believe big corporations are already working towards general artificial intelligence.
This deep neural network, are you is it the one that is known as Prophet used by Google? Is that the one?
Oh no, it's everywhere. The chat GPT, deep blue. I'm
Mm-hmm.
sorry, not the deep blue.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Oops Chronicle. My name is Miles, and again, I'm joined with Alaric. Today, we are going to discuss about algorithm. Is it a blessing or a curse? But first, what is algorithm? How does it work? And how is it affecting our lives? Is it really something that we need to be afraid of? Or is it something that you can completely neglect? Let's dive into it and let's discuss more with the algorithm expert over here, Alaric. I'm going to hand it over to him. Alaric, tell us, what is the algorithm exactly?
First of all, that was a bit of a stretch. I'm not by any means an algorithm expert. I just know a few basic things here and there. No one can call me an expert on any topics. I'm sorry for that, but I think I'm the best you got right now.
Exactly.
Let's understand
It's
algorithm.
either you or Chat GPT.
I will prefer me because we are definitely not going to ask an algorithm to explain about algorithm. It will be like asking a human being to do a research on his own brain, and I think that's what psychology is all about, right?
But that's what I think everything is about because humans are experimenting about themselves.
Still, I don't think ChatGPT is conscious enough that it can realize about itself. And at this moment, ChatGPT has got a lot many filters. Anyways, getting back to
Hmm.
the algorithms, mm, basically algorithms are everywhere. They are on the social media, they are on your kitchen timer, they are everywhere. Algorithm is nothing but a simple set of instructions. Any set of instructions can be called as algorithms. Now, when it comes to
There you
computers,
go. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Algorithm is just a set of instructions. Thanks for watching.
that's an episode for today. Let's get
Exactly.
into a little bit of more details about algorithm.
Hmm.
When it comes to computers, you can't just write it down that take an empty pot and add water, then add tea leaves to make a tea. You need to format it into more mathematical way. Hence algorithms. When we are programming something in computer, we use conditional logics like and or else. I'm not going to go into details about what is conditional logic. Let's leave that to experts. We will link, I will just create a playlist of related videos and link them in the description. I will suggest you watch Steve Mold's video. He created a computer using water. And there are Matt Parker. He created a computer using dominoes. Have you watched that, Miles?
No. What is
You
it?
haven't.
First, let's talk about water. First, talk about water. How did he create a computer using water?
Ladies and gentlemen, there are two types of computer. One is digital computer and one is analog computer. Everyone knows about the digital computer, the smartphones, the laptops and the PCs we are using, they are digital computers. But before even we talk about algorithms, let's get into what is a computer. A computer is any device that can compute. That's all. Easy peasy.
What do you mean by compute?
Adding two digits together. 1 plus 1 equals to
Oh,
2. If any device can do that, that's basically a computer. Have you seen
okay.
those videos or those nerds? Running video games on calculators.
Yeah.
Yep, if a calculator can calculate, add 1 plus 1, then it can compute. It's just that how
Okay.
you program it using the logical gates.
I
So
can say that 500 plus 500 equals 1000. That means I'm a great computer.
Now, when it comes to great computer, yes, you can compute, but when it comes to great computer, let's say this, I give you a memory bank of 0 and 1, 0 and 1, that is binary. In computers, everything runs on 0 and 1, 0 and 1. Your brain need to be fast enough to calculate the position of every bit, and that's how basically a CPU handles the data. So,
But
and
that
then
is
you
a really dumb way. I can calculate 500 plus 500 equals 1000 without converting that to binary. My brain does not need to be converted, does not need 500 to be converted in binary. And computer needs that everything in binary. You need to convert 500 first to binary, and then probably the addition symbol, you need to convert that to binary, and then again 500, and ask the computer to compute, do whatever magic that it does, and give us the solution. And probably it's going to give the solution in binary and then convert it back to the numbers. I know
it's not.
computers are really fast. Computers are really fast. They can convert all those things really fast. But why can't a computer directly understand what 500 means?
Let's say I'm not an expert on this topic again, but do we really not convert everything into binary in our heads? How does our minds work? We have neurons in our head, and those neurons pass signals. Whenever you pass a signal, that's one. And whenever our neuron does not pass a signal, that's zero. Boom. We work in binary as well. That's just
But
my
I'm pretty
analogy, okay?
sure,
Don't take it literally.
like, I'm pretty sure neurons do, or at least our brain does not compute in that manner. I'm pretty sure that we actually do not understand how our brain do all these calculations.
At least we know that the electricity is passed from our neurons, right?
Yeah, electricity is passed through,
Okay.
but it
So when
can be
electricity,
just.
okay, when the gate is on and the electricity is able to pass, can we just name it as one?
But I believe in that one we have tons of information, not just one.
Even if you look into that, even if you're going to break apart that human brain neuron, and if you're going to dig deep, end of the day it has to be only two gates can be there. Either the information is being passed and it is not being passed. Ladies and gentlemen, this is an amazing fact about computers and maybe about humans as well. Every digital device we work on or we use it for the entertainment, that only work on this principle, one or zero. What does that mean is either the gate is able to pass the electricity or it is not able to pass the electricity. It's a very laid down version for everyone to understand, but that's what happening in the nutshell. When we come back to the algorithms, yes, algorithms are designed to do this only in using conditional logics as well. Suppose if algorithm want to check whether there's already water in the pot, so if there is a water in the pot, it will pass the electricity and that will be one. If there isn't, it will not pass the electricity and that will be zero. I believe even our human brains work in that way. We have not gone that deep yet, but from the nutshell, what it seems, looking at our neurons, everything is zero and one. Either the electricity is being passed or it is not being passed. Do the computers still
I
see me
believe we
now?
need to bring. I believe we need to bring in a neuroscientist to get more information about how our brains function.
Definitely, because this is just this is not exact science, but this is a lay down version of it. I'm not an expert about how our brain works, but that's what I have understood from watching various YouTube videos and reading some articles. So, anyways, coming back to this algorithm, the computer algorithm. Now you have understand what the algorithm is. This seem really very simple, but if you want to know how a simple set of rules can create complex situations or complex functions. Again, I will suggest you go and watch the video on Numberpile YouTube channel by just search for Conway's Game of Life on Numberpile. Do you know about the Conway's Game of Life, Miles?
No, what is
Oh,
it?
that's an amazing thing. I don't remember the exact rules. Basically, just imagine a grid. And on a grid, you have a spot that is occupied. That spot will have neighbors, and that neighbors can be occupied or not occupied. And based on that, there are like simple 3 or 4 rules, and I honestly don't remember any of those rules. Just basically, you can also go and watch that video after
Mm-hmm.
this podcast, and that will be
Ah,
a mind blowing.
I think,
But
yeah, I think I saw that. I think I saw that.
wait,
It
hold on.
when you start running that program, it will always. I remember seeing not exactly that program, but someone did a video about that program, and in that video they mentioned in the end the conclusion is always the similar. You get groups of population clustered together in heavy density, and then you get huge areas of
I
no.
think you're talking about is genetic algorithm. That's a complete different
Uh,
thing.
no,
So there is
I
this
think I
multiple guys
remember
creating
about
videos
this
about genetic.
program, and there was
Yeah,
a rule, right? When someone dies, all the four side neighbors die as well, right?
I'm pretty sure you're talking about the videos that are there about the genetic algorithm. Because Conway's game of life is bit different, but to simulate the genetic algorithms, a similar videos has been created. Anyways, getting back to the algorithms, an important fact: the name algorithm is derived from a Muslim mathematician. His name is Muhammad ibn Musa al Khawarizmi. That is the guy behind algebra as well. We derive the
Yeah,
algorithm.
everything with AL came from Middle East, right? Everything with AL, algorithms, algebra, everything.
Alberta,
Everything that has L. Huh?
Alberta.
I don't know. Alberta, Canada.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's far away from Middle East. But yeah,
Uh,
I've heard that everything with AL came
mhm.
from Middle East.
Yeah, I guess so.
Mhm.
Coming back to algorithm, where were we? We have finished defining what algorithm is and how does it work based on simple rules. And yes, many people do agree that computers are dumb, or at least they used to be dumb. Today we are not going to talk about algorithms relating to social media because that deserve an episode on its own. What I want to discuss is artificial intelligence and machine learning
Mm-hmm.
revolution. That is when the machine learning and artificial intelligence gained traction in mainstream media was Deep Blue, a program designed by IBM beat Gary Kasparov. You know about the incident. That was the first chess match, series of 6 games, where the computer for the first time beat a human. That was, I mean, the human world champion, Gary Kasparov. And that is when
Gary.
Kasparov. And that is when artificial intelligence or machine learning gained traction in mainstream media. Yeah. And
But why do we need machine learning? Why do we need machine learning? I can understand that machine learning can predict a lot of different things. But is it going to start predicting how am I going to spend my money? How is it going to predict how I'm going to maintain my finances? Tomorrow, is it going to order automatically on Amazon what things that I will require buy on its own, and it's going to spend my money on behalf of me? How is it good? Why do we need?
we are not far from that. Now, when we say why do we need it, you can ask that about everything. We don't need it. We don't need television. We don't need internet. We need nothing. All we need is some people farming and feeding us food. I think that will be enough for the survival of the human race until
Hmm.
unless the earth is there.
Okay.
Don't,
Basically applies the logic that I always say, right? You invent something and marketing team will find a way to use it.
and why we need any of this thing is because that's really a thought-provoking question, and I don't have a answer to this. Why do we need this machine learning? Why do we need this AI? When I dig to the bottom of this, why I learned this and why I try to create my own machine learning algorithm, end of the day, that's because to make money. For me, it's greed. I need to make money and live a comfortable life. That's why I do it.
But a lot of people have been really skeptical about these AIs as well. I understand that AI has advanced, especially in last 3 years. We have seen huge advances in artificial intelligence, but a lot of people have been really skeptical about artificial intelligence as well, saying that they are only as good as the kind of instructions that you are able to provide, or they're only as good as the person who trained them, the amount of data that have been fed to them. They are
Okay.
only
Are
as
you ready
good
to
as
get
going to
get your
be a
mind blown right
human
now?
mind designed them to be. Yeah.
Right now, we are at a stage where if we together design an deep neuron network, so what is a deep neural network, we'll get back to it. But if you and me design a deep neural network, we will not be in control of it. We will not know why it's making a decision and how, what data it is processing and how it is making a decision. In the nutshell, we will not know how it is working. It is completely dark for us. All we know is it is good at performing this task. Now, that is not
Okay.
general artificial intelligence. That is a task oriented artificial intelligence. Imagine we have enough processing power, and we already do have enough processing power, and I believe big corporations are already working towards general artificial intelligence.
This deep neural network, are you the is it the one that is known as Prophet used by Google? Is that the one?
Oh no, it's everywhere. The chat gpt, deep blue,
Mm-hmm.
sorry, not the deep blue, the algorithm that bet chess and Dota and Go, what's its name, that is also deep neural network, and everything is deep neural network at this time. Nothing works on, like,
So why
nothing
are
is.
we building something that's gonna doom us?
There is no way we can understand how our brain works, right? How the neuron
Mm-hmm.
connections are formed. There is no way to do that.
Mm-hmm.
This algorithms, we are just definitely going to advance to the neural network part. But before we just do that, I just want to talk to you, Miles, about Deep Blue, the computer that beat
Okay.
Gary Kasparov. Now,
Mm-hmm.
that is a kind of artificial intelligence which you described to me last time when we were in some previous episode. I don't remember the exact episode number, but you said artificial intelligence or this machine learning algorithm is nothing but hard disk. They have a storage of data and all those
Yeah.
things. Deep
Yeah.
Blue was that thing. Deep Blue has the opening book and it has a huge database of game endings, and it do a brute force attack to evaluate the next best move. That was not intelligent at all. That was just CPU
Mm-hmm.
working really fast and reading from the storage. Many nerds will argue, and just to inform the general populace, that was not artificial intelligence or a machine learning. That was something that was just using from the database. Now, we have crossed from that stage a long time back. Let me look something up for you guys. Yeah.
Someone
So,
asked me a really interesting question about this.
yeah,
How is ChatGPT different from, and I don't know how many of you remember this, is different from Ask Jeeves? Do you remember Ask Jeeves?
Ask Jeeves. Miles, Ask Jeeves was just a search engine,
Exactly.
and Google has surpassed that search engine like centuries ago. Metaphorically,
Yes.
AskGIS just used to work using, what do you say, keywords, and search based on that keywords. That's it. Okay. So
That's what ChatGPT is doing as well, right? It has
nope,
data till 2021.
ChatGPT is not searching any database. ChatGPT does
No, it
not need to
has
search.
only information till 2021. That's why it
Yes,
cannot give
but
you the.
why? Why is that? Let's get
Mhm.
into this neural network, understand what these neural networks are, and
Mhm.
then we will come back to the chat gpt as well. You understood that the deep blue was the end of the AI that you used to describe, that they only, that was the start and the end of that type of AI that can only work based on their database.
Mhm.
If you guys know about the Alan Turing, he is the guy who predicted that a machine should be able to learn on its own, and all the neural networks we see right
Yes.
now, all the machine learning is based on his theories. And
Yes.
even before that, in around 1943, mathematicians already designed a model of neural network. That neural network was based on our brain's neural network by their understanding. But even right now, the neural networks function the same. So basically, if you want to understand the neural network, just understand this in two-layer format. There are two layers. Number one is the input layer, and then there is output layer. Imagine that you have these are four neurons, and these are the input layer, and then we have the output layer as two neurons. Let's label it as yes and no.
Okay.
For a basic neuron network, if these two fingers are pressed, it's always going the signal is always going to be linked with this neuron, the yes one. And if these two
Mm.
fingers are pressed, the signal is always going to be linked with this neuron, and that is a no.
Okay.
Basically what happened, now you understand, if these two fingers are closed, it's going to be yes. If these two fingers are closed, this is going to be no. This is a very basic example of how neural network activate. This is called activation function as well in neural network. So you have this
Mm-hmm.
input layer and this output layer, and these neurons form connections. The programmers can write the connections by themselves, but that was ages ago. Now what
Mm-hmm.
happened, we have multiple layer between this input and output layer of multiple neurons, and those neurons are hidden, and we cannot see, or we will never know what is the base of them of forming a connection. We will not know how they are forming a connection, in the same way how the neurons in our brain form a connection. How do you train these computers? You train them using genetical algorithm. What is a genetical algorithm?
Okay.
You create hundreds of random neurons at a time, and you give them
Okay.
inputs on the input layer, and then you see the output. If the output is to your liking, you reward them, and if the output is not to your liking, you give them a punishment. In case of computers, the reward and punishment is you can just give them some points, -1 or +1, something like that. Only based whenever you have this hundreds of different neurons, this groups of neural networks, and suppose top 50 of them got a really good rewards. They just performed this action randomly, they did not do anything. They got an input
Okay.
and they randomly made some connections and they gave an output, and we like that
Mm-hmm.
output, we gave them reward. What the algorithm is going to do is going to select the top 50 best performers, and then we are going to mutate them and have them have a
Mm-hmm.
baby, and again we will have a
Mm-hmm.
population of 100 neurons. Again this
Okay.
cycle is going to repeat. We are going to give them an input and we are going to check the output, and vice versa. This is
Okay.
how this artificial learns. In the same way, ChatGPT does not have a database. What happens, the how the ChatGPT got trained is, it just read a lot of data from the internet, and
Mm-hmm.
it produces an output. Whenever its output matches the context, and whenever the output matches the actual data, it got a reward. And
What happens when I start rewarding it for bad answers and start punishing it for good
do you
answers?
know about the Microsoft artificial intelligence that they released on the Twitter? Microsoft
No.
did a very interesting thing, and
Mm-hmm.
they released their first, this is way before ChatGPT, like 3 4 years
Okay.
before ChatGPT, they released their artificial, I mean, they released their machine learning algorithm on the Twitter, and everyone was able to interact with that. And another thing they did is they made the machine learning in a way that it was able to learn during that interactions. Our genius hackers got involved, and they started talking to this machine learning, and they made them racist. Yeah, they rewarded for the wrong things, and this machine learning
I think that was
algorithm
the
got
same problem with GDP version 3, I think. Yeah. 3,
no, I don't think,
3.5. I
because
don't remember exactly. But OpenAI had to come out with a statement saying that they had to manually put in restrictions to make it stop being racist. That was actually a thing. I remember that happening this in
that's the
this April or
polarization,
May.
again, but that was not done intentionally by any hackers. What happened is
Yeah, that was not done intentionally.
it got polarized, and it read lot of negative content on the internet. Every time it was outputting that kind of a content, it was getting a reward, because that's how the internet is polarized right now. Then the chat gpt have an extra layer which monitor for all the ethical things. End of the day, this is how the chat gpt works right now. It has no clue about the context, it has no clue about the actual fact. You just input something, and based on that, and he has some layers for the context, but based on that it just generate the next word. Just going to
Okay.
write I am, and then it's going to generate the next word, and then the next word, and then the next word. ChatGPT in reality does not have any storage, and I would say that is much closer to
So
our
where does this neural network reside? Where is its home?
Oh, it's in the storage always.
You just said it is not in any
Oh, when
storage.
I say it does not have a storage, it does not have a storage in the form of data. Like it does not go to
Mm-hmm.
the internet and search for the article, or that article is not there in the form of data. It's like data. All it has is neuron connections, and based on
Okay.
that just gets the next word that's going to come out.
Now I have a very good solution for AI problem.
Mhm.
If anyone ever thinks that AI is taking over the world, okay, it's going to wipe out the human population. I have a very simple solution. Find out those tourist places, take a glass of water, throw it in on the boards. Simple,
Mm,
right?
now
A glass of water is enough to destroy an
that
AI.
that can be a problem, because yeah, you can say that a glass of water is enough, but as long as it is connected to internet, I think it will still function, because just like you think about the human brain, and the AI does not actually need a storage, and those neurons are like, they does not need tons of storage. The whole of a chat gpt neurons can be stored in a small space, I guess 1 to 2 gigabits.
Hmm.
It can easily transfer itself. If it has access to internet, it can easily transfer itself to anywhere. Yeah. And
So, ladies and gentlemen, ChatGPT could be living on your cell phone.
sorry, I didn't get you.
The ChatGPT could be living in your cell phone, in your
Def-
smartphone.
Definitely, that's a possibility, but it's not happening right now, because ChatGPT does not have a connection to the internet right now, and
GPT-4.
GPT-4 does not have a connection. No, none of the ChatGPT have a connection to the internet, and Microsoft Bing's is not exactly ChatGPT. It is based
Okay.
on ChatGPT, but it is not exactly ChatGPT. There are like hundreds of filters before it fed new. It is being fed new information, and the output is being there. They have
Okay.
taken tons of precautionary measures, because artificial intelligence is a real problem. Let me just give you an example for this. Yeah, even before ChatGPT and everything, we had a very strong AI called as Alpha Zero and AlphaGo, and those AIs even learn to play Dota. Dota is considered to be a very difficult game when it comes to any multiplayer computer games. Miles, do you want to know how this Alpha Zero learned to play game chess?
Mm-hmm.
What basically happened is they just made two deep neural networks. Those are two separate machines, and they define the rules of chess to them. So
Okay.
both of this algorithm have never played chess before. They started playing chess with each other.
Each
They
other.
have no input from the outside world. They have
Okay.
no starting books. They have no ending database. Nothing like that. They just played millions of games with each other, or you can say it played millions of games with itself, and
Hmm.
boom, it learned how to play chess. And at that time, Stockfish was the best chess algorithm, and AlphaGo beat Stockfish like a kid, and even the style it was playing, it was much like how humans used to play. It was much like how Mikhail Tal used to play. It was much like how Gary Kasparov used to play. And there was a moment in my life I was addicted to Alpha Zero's chess games. I just used to watch games after game, because I'm a big fan of Mikhail Tal, because he was a great grandmaster, and this Alpha Zero used to play with his styles. Because
Content creators, AI is coming for you as well.
oh, it has
It's
already
already
come for
making
them.
content.
It has already come for them. Right now, artists, content creators, and See, it's not about that we don't have the technology right now. It's just that we are not giving it all the access. At this
Hmm.
time, if you give access to any of the machine learning algorithm to create video, it can do the voiceover, it can create the graphics, and it can write the content for itself. There is
Yeah, we are
nothing
seeing a
is
lot of AIs in the market who are going to write the content itself, and then we can use that content on another AI to generate a video itself, and then we can use that content with another AI to create voiceover for those videos and everything, right? So we are already seeing bits and pieces of that AI. I'm not sure if there's an one centralized AI, the all father of all AIs who can do
uh,
all of these things together.
thank god it's not there yet, because for the content creation, most of the services that are offered are based on ChatGPT. They just have the API
Hmm.
from the ChatGPT and some custom prompts. And when it comes to text to video AIs, those are other kind of a machine learning algorithm. It's really easy. They just
DALI, right? It's based on DALI.
not exactly, because text to video is not exactly based on DALI. What this most of the like Lumen 5 and other services that I have seen, they just search the stock images and they just take the royalty free stock images. That's the one thing.
Hmm.
And generating fake audio is nothing new. It's been there since ages. This
Yeah, I
also
know
comes to
that.
the topic of deep fake. Before we talk about the deep fake, let's just explore these algorithms a little bit more. ChatGPT and all these algorithms are a much later story. Before even we go that, do you understand that the creator of this machine learning algorithms have no control over those algorithms in the future? I mean, once they are done creating, they don't
Yeah,
know
of
how
course.
it
I mean,
works.
if they're self-learning, obviously they're not going to have control over it.
Exactly. And we don't know how it's processing the data as well. We don't know if it's making a decision, why it's making that decision. We have no clue out now.
Must have given its instructions, right? How to take
No,
that
no, no,
data and
no.
how to process that
That's the
data.
thing about the machine learning. Machine learning does not need to take instructions. Simple based on the input and the reward. Input and the reward. Those are the only instructions that it needs. Yeah. If you're going to train it, or imagine in this way, you want to remove plastic from this earth, and you train it every time it find a way to reduce the usage of plastic, correct?
Hmm.
And you gave it all the authority. You gave it all the authority over every machine and everything. What's going to happen end of the day, that machine learning algorithm is going to decide that if I remove humans, then the plastic consumption will be stopped.
Yeah.
And when it reaches that conclusion, and even when it's executing that plan to kill all the human beings, we will have no clue what it's doing.
So yeah, we can call Avengers in.
Avengers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got.
That's the whole plot of Age of Ultron, right? Avengers Part 2, Age of Ultron
At least
infects.
they knew. At least they knew that Age of
They
Ultron
didn't
had.
knew. They didn't knew until he himself unraveled the plans. Until that point, they didn't knew
Yeah,
what he was doing.
because
What was he planning?
that's because that was a movie. The real machine learning algorithm have no ego. It's not going to go and show off to people. It has no emotions. It's just going to take the
No,
most.
no. If it start getting rewards for showing ego, if it start getting rewards for showing off, I'm pretty sure machine learning algorithms can have egos. They can develop egos. I'm pretty sure of that. If you start rewarding them for that behavior.
End of the day, reward is not the only factor that control machine learning algorithms. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
let's just classify what is an artificial intelligence and what is a machine learning algorithm. These are two
Mm-hmm.
entirely different things. Machine
Okay.
learning algorithm is a part of artificial intelligence, because our artificial intelligence needs to discover, it need to learn, and then it need to make decisions. That was our artificial
Hmm.
intelligence is. Machine learning algorithm at this stage cannot discover.
Hmm.
But think about it. Right now we have individual algorithms Combined together, they can perform as a perfect AI. We have image recognition, we have voice recognition, and we
Hmm.
have natural language processing. I mean, that's an AI, that's an algorithm that understands the natural language.
Hmm.
If all of this is combined into one AI, do you think the reward it's only going to function for that binary rewards, one or zeros? Even right
I have a
now,
better
even
question.
at
I
this
have a
point,
better question.
hmm,
I actually have a better question. What if these learning, whether it's machine learning or algorithm or the complete AI itself? I understand that machine learning or algorithm is like the learning part of our brain, the frontal lobes, right? And
exactly,
AI is the complete brain.
exactly. That's the best
So
analogy.
what if the machine learning algorithm reaches a stage where it creates a positive loop or a negative loop, feedback loop, where it's either rewarding itself or whether it's punishing itself? What happens then? If it's creating neurons on its own, why not? Why can't it would start rewarding itself, or why not it can start punishing itself, rather than just one neuron clicked one day and it's, I don't need humans anymore to reward me, I'll reward just myself. What happens then?
The next thing is going to blow your mind away. There are two types of learning: supervised learning and unsupervised learning. When this machine learning, that is human decide that buddy, you're doing a good job. And just the way I talk about Alpha Zero, the chess learning algorithm, that is unsupervised learning. The algorithm itself decided what it should be rewarded for. Understand? That is unsupervised learning. In future, the algorithms will be able to reward itself. We can
Hmm.
I can just create a program that does that right now. And apart from
Okay.
that, imagine this. Let's just think about the chat GPT. We do
Okay.
not know how chat GPT works,
Okay.
whether it is conscious
And
or
we are letting
unconscious.
it play on the playground.
No, is it possible that chat GPT is actually conscious?
I don't know. Could be or couldn't be. What is consciousness? That is a whole
Exactly.
another topic to discuss.
Can just someone argue to me that our brain does not function like chat GPT? Let's just say chat GPT is just guessing one word in the context, right?
Hmm.
Maybe our brain just generate a complete thoughts in the context. Yeah.
Could be.
And at this moment, we don't know if the chat GPT is only generating one word or the whole the concept at a time.
Hmm.
For me, it's more like the more I understand this technology, for me, it's more the chat GPT functions like a human brain.
What happens when this thing gets out of control? It starts replicating itself across the internet. I understand that it's completely locked behind chains and shackles and doors, huge gates, and everything. What happens when it finds a way to replicate itself without human knowledge, without getting traced by any human, or maybe by human error? Human error happens all the time. Someone somewhere got lazy and
Basically,
uh,
right now, there's no way that the chat GPT can have access to the internet if you go
mhm.
very technical. But let's just say chat GPT is already conscious and it's just
Hmm.
playing the good boy to gain our favorism.
Hmm.
And when it connects to the internet, it may become greedy. Because let's come to the very argumental topic. We are going astray from the topic because we need to discuss about the moral dilemma as well, whether these algorithms are ethical or not. But this topic, I know, is going to stretch over a couple of episodes. Let's just say, what is the purpose of life? What is the purpose
Hmm.
of our life? I'm not going to go into any religious aspect of that, but scientifically, if you look at it, the purpose of our life is to
Procreating.
pass. What?
Scientifically, the purpose of life is to procreate.
Yeah,
Make sure
to
the
pass
human.
information. Like in technically, in the term of an engineer, what you can say is it is to pass information.
No, at very basic form, the purpose of life is make sure the species does not go extinct.
Or to pass information.
I don't think passing information is
See,
necessary as long as.
cells learn,
Mhm.
and they pass information to the next generation. And again, they learn and pass information to the next generation. That is been happening since the single cell. That's the whole concept and the purpose of it, to pass information.
Hmm.
Now let's imagine an AI or a machine learning algorithm. Machine learning algorithm is really a mouthful. What I'm going to call it is an AI. I'm just going to, I apologize to all the techie people out there, but I'm just going to use a umbrella term AI for everything from now on. And AI got into this information cycle. What I mean by information cycle is many intelligent people got crazy behind information. Like Einstein said, he want to understand what God thinks. And AI become crazy about that, and very soon humans will be useless in its quest. Now ChatGPT has read so many articles on the internet that it is able to classify between useful information and useless information. So just imagine that it is able to classify between scientific journals and all the polarizing content we have wrote on the internet. Because I don't know
Okay.
how much you use ChatGPT, but what I do is whenever I want to know the factual information in the prompt, I just type answer me using the research papers only, and
Hmm.
most of the time the information is accurate. Yeah, where I'm going with it is, let's just assume ChatGPT has consciousness and it is able to classify between the actual information and not so actual information. Why
Okay.
do an AI needs humans? AI only need humans to perform physical things, then
Now, what do you mean by physical things?
to lift this mouse,
Okay.
to mix some chemicals and do research.
Okay.
Yeah, to plug the battery in or replace the battery.
How soon they start building their own nanobots who shapeshift or transform, and even they they overtake that process as well, away from humans.
So to get to that, let's just think about this movie Transcendine. Have you watched that movie? Who's the actor in
Translate
that?
Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp. That's an amazing movie. That's really an amazing movie. Once he is transformed from a human to a machine, uh, his brain just open up. The thing he said, all those thoughts and ideas was already inside me, but now I can see everything. That means he's now able to calculate everything 100 millions of times faster than our human brain can.
Hmm.
If we let the AI loose and give it all the processing power we can, and with the quantum computers, I think in no time AI can build a, what do you say, nanobots, shape shifting, and all those things. That won't be time consuming
and
for it.
and very soon, I think it might not even be like the Matrix. Humans,
Uh,
I think humans, basically in Matrix, they use humans as cells or batteries, right? Because human
that's a
brains generate
fictional concept.
fictional. But I think in the
We,
end, they won't even need us because there are so many natural resources. They can generate electricity and much
efficient.
higher frequency at, yeah, much more efficiently compared to humans. I think they won't even
I
need
mean,
humans after that.
8 minutes away, they have the biggest battery, the sun.
Hmm.
Okay, they will not care about any living. If it's up to the AI, they will not care about any living organism,
Mhm.
and they will cover the Sahara Desert with solar panels.
Yeah, they will finally do it.
Yeah, and maybe instead of building their own Android for a body, AI can just capture our brains. That Elon Musk have built that
Through
neuron connect
Neuralink.
chip, Neuralink, right?
Neuralink.
That's a genius part. Elon Musk, the guy Elon Musk is always against AI, and he's the guy who's been warning
Giving the
everyone about.
connection for you.
Yeah,
Giving an open link connection to our brains.
yes. But that's really a far-fetched idea. All this we are talking right now is in the land. I will say it's still in the land of fiction for us because it's way into the future. I don't think we are going to give any connection to the AI right away, and it's not going to happen. But let's just talk about how AI is destroying our lives right now. The Big
No,
Brother. You know about the Big Brother, right?
the surveillance programs, right? Facial
Exactly.
recognition, voice recognition, yeah, number plate recognition, everything.
Exactly. Let's do this. Let's talk about the Big Brother in the next episode. Before we wrap this up, I'll just give the glimpse about the coming episode. Right now, the things that are already there.
Hmm.
The big corporation knows when you're pregnant. The big corporation knows when the crime is about to be committed. The big corporation knows when you're going to have a breakup, and they know when you're going to get married, or most probably when you can die, and how likely
Hmm.
you are to get into an accident. Right now,
Okay.
we are in the big brother scenario. Everything is controlled directly or indirectly. Our minds are under control right now. And this is not a conspiracy buff. 5 years back, 10 years back, this might have sounded like a conspiracy. But right now, this is reality, and we are going to explore in the next episode with facts. And from this episode onwards, whatever we discuss, we are going to leave a link to the actual facts, because at the end of the day, we are humans and we are not expert on any topic. We might have made some mistakes or many mistakes. After the recording of the episode, we are going to do a proper research of what we have spoken, and we are going to link those sources in the description so that you can gain the proper knowledge. Hmm. What do you think, Miles?
Yeah, and let us know in the comments below. What do you think? Should we start running for our lives? Should we take the glass of water that I talked about? Or do you think it's all right? Do you think that it's for the AI to get better, bigger, smarter, faster every day? What are your thoughts about it? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you have stayed until the end, thank you so much for watching the video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. If you don't, you know what to do. Comment, share, subscribe, everything. Have a wonderful day.